Welcome back. We are in the studio once again. This is Good Cop vs Bad Cop podcast. We are in the studio. Motivational athlete Ali Rashid and
Bearded Mo, food reviewer.
I
keep saying it. I don't know why. Yo, it's Bearded Mo.
Yo, that you know. And we're in the studio today. We got exciting podcast for you. We're talking about
the upcoming event of Mike Tyson and
Tyson Fury ain't on that level, mate.
Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr.
Mike Tyson, the baddest man on the planet, against the most slickest man on the planet, Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
Both of my favourite fighters. I grew up watching these guys, and it's going to be an event September the 12th. It's the same date as one of my boys' birthdays.
Oh, wow.
Big yourself up, Kid Dynamite, you know. Freak 'em, baby. It's going to be an event September the 12th, 2020. What are we going to say about this event?
How many rounds is it first? Is it 8 rounds?
Yeah, it's an exhibition bout. It's 8 rounds. You can have 4 rounds, 6 rounds, 8 rounds.
Yeah.
I think they've gone for 8 rounds just to make it look a little bit more exciting.
Just to sell it, really. It's not going to get that far. I reckon because they're so old now. I want to say old, but they're past it. I don't think they'll get past 4. Obviously, Roy Jones Jr. has been more active recently, but I think it's more like just to sell. I don't think he'd get past the first couple of rounds.
Me personally, I think Roy Jones wasn't the same fighter after he lost to Tarver when he got stopped. And you know, even though he came back and he was competitive, he lost that edge. And I think the most virtuous thing about any fighter is when they're holding a peak and they're like genetically skilled and gifted and blessed, and they're holding that peak. It just takes one slip, one tilt, and that's why it has to be perfection at its best. And when they lose that slip, first thing that happens is they lose that unbeaten streak, that pedigree kind of slips, and then they're never the same fighter again. They're forever chasing that.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a knock on your head thinking, yo, I need to be the best I can. And once you get past that point, like Roy Jones Jr. at his peak, he was like the perfect fighter. He was slick, he was fast, he was powerful, but obviously now they're way off now. Do you think that they should still fight, Mike Tyson?
Definitely should fight, because what they're doing, they're inspiring the generation, like 50 plus generation. Mike Tyson is 54, Roy Jones is 51, you know, and they grew up kind of watching each other in a way where they respected each other's skill set and domination. Mike Tyson, I mean, there's things that Roy Jones have done in the sport that makes him a Guinness Book contender.
Yeah.
Because he was the first fighter in 108 years to go from light heavyweight to cruiserweight. Light heavyweight straight to
super middleweight, isn't it?
Super middleweight and then light heavyweight.
Yeah.
And then he jumped straight up from cruiser to heavyweight. And that's what happened in 108 years to win the title. And then he come back down, and that's where his body took a toll. He did the impossible because people didn't expect him to do it. And I think that had a bearing effect on his physical capabilities, because he was genetically gifted to do that in the first place. But because you've done such, like, put on, I think it was, I can't remember now, 28 pounds of muscle, and then you lose it like within a year apart kind of thing, and his body just like, and his mind, you have the muscle to mind connection, that kind of lost its edge. And when he took that shot from Tarver, it kind of it was all over, and that lost that legacy. But nevertheless, Roy Jones, RJ Jr. is probably the most honed, skilled, heavy fighter the world has ever seen. The world has ever seen.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But I don't think it should happen, to be honest. I think at that age, a one knock on the head could,
Yeah, but you know what? You have an option of head guards. They're not going for the option.
That's the thing.
Go on.
Yeah, I think they should go for the head guard. I think they should make it as safe as it possibly can. It's more like an event. It's more like just to put a show on. They should have, the fluffy gloves.
They're not going to have fluffy gloves. They're fighting in 12-ounce gloves. A normal fight, depending on what weight they'll go from like 10 ounce. So they're going up 2 ounces, which makes a little bit of difference. It's a bit more padded, but you have an option of head guards. You have an option of wearing a vest, which they're not going with, I think. Or they're going to go.
They're both looking good shape, so I don't think they need the vest.
Yeah, but I think the whole point and the reason why this fight's going to get the pay-per-view figures and it's become the talk already, it's actually a bigger fight on talk compared to the actual heavyweight contenderships that you're getting. Like Deontay Wilder and Fury was a big deal.
Yeah.
Especially the second one, because the first one, the way it went, and we knew Fury could have done him, and it kind of got probably stolen away from him. The second round, he dominated. There's loads of things, but that was an event because it's heavyweight. Yeah. Heavyweight always has that thing where you just like, let's watch the heavyweights go. You know, like it's like it brings your blood to boil, especially when they're skilled.
Yeah.
But with the Tyson Fury and Wilder, that's probably one of the biggest events in the last few years.
Recent history, yeah.
This has only just come to flourish, and I reckon that will break pay-per-view numbers.
Yeah,
you know?
I reckon. I'll be honest with you straight. I don't pay for fights, yeah. I stream them straight.
I'm gonna watch it.
But this fight here, I am willing to pay for it. This is one of those fights that you want to see. Like when I was I don't think I wasn't old enough to see, you know,
Tyson's peak and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
At 5 in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a bad dude.
So, like, this is like one-time opportunity. And I think the videos that are going around of Mike Tyson, you know, not sparring, but hitting the pads and... bags.
He's actually inspired me. I look at my Instagram, was slow for a little bit.
Yeah.
And as soon as he did that video, I can't put one on the back with the same music because. It's like if you've been a boxer or you've seen Mike Tyson and you've grown up alongside the influence of watching someone who honed his skills like Mike Tyson, who actually pushed the agenda for heavyweights, like a short guy taking on all the big guys, and he was going through them like knife to butter. And to see him make a comeback when he's gone to like 22 plus stone, 23 stone, and then coming back down, he had a 48 inch waist 16 months ago. And all of a sudden, he's gone down and he's at like a 38-inch waist now. Wow. And he's actually doing shock therapy for muscles and he's looking like a beast. You know, you don't look... normal people can't look like that when they're 30 years old.
Yeah, exactly. But do you think he still got it though? Because these videos look impressive. But you've got a t-shirt, if I rightly remember, boards don't hit back.
Yeah.
Do you think he could still take a shot? He could probably give a shot.
I'll tell you one thing, he could take a better shot than Roy Jones.
Yeah,
he will take a better shot than Roy Jones.
But big legs and a big thick neck, hasn't he?
Like Roy Jones' new video that's come out in the promotional video is like, I like Roy Jones' attitude, end off, humble. Yeah. Mike Tyson's bringing that fire, which he will do to sell the number, sell the fight. But he's saying like, you know, he starts a couple of little swears and then you best be in the A game, don't look stupid and whatever else. Roy Jones is like this, the guy's a monster, his arms are like this, his legs are like this. Yeah. It's like David and Goliath, but David only needed God, I only need God. When he said that, he's won me over.
Yeah.
Any man who's a man of God automatically gets my respect.
Yeah.
Automatically. And anybody like Tyson, he's been making some statements like that take him out. Like for me, as a person who looked up to him and that kind of seen his transition in life and knowing he came from a bad life, become a Muslim, that kind of helped him, and you know, spiritually and mentally, and even like to a point where it kind of stabilized him a little bit. But he started making statements now like the gods of war have fueled my ego, and these are statements. As a Muslim, we don't make these statements because it takes you outside the folds of Islam.
It puts you off.
Yeah, it puts me off him a little bit. But then I'm thinking, is he just playing into people's hands to kind of sell himself, like trying to be something, like trying to put pressure on his opponent, or you know, I'm just egotistical, I'm gonna kill you, like come on, you know what it is.
So, do you think he still got it then? Yes or no?
I personally think Mike Tyson, both fighters ain't what they were, and it'd be foolish to say, yeah, we're gonna see a tear up, and Mike's gonna be on the inside, and Roy's gonna be slick and making a miss, and come with the southpaw shots, and if you're thinking of that, you ain't gonna see that, because the last exhibition bout Tyson had in 2006, I think it was, with Corey Anderson, it was like he's helping him back up after his tap. He's moving around, doing all the slipping, and he had a vest on, a t-shirt, and the other guy had a head guard on, and he tapped him, kind of wobbled him, and he kind of tried to help him back up again. That's an exhibition bout. Remember, it's all for charity. Exhibition bouts have underlying charities that they're putting the money towards. Maybe not all of it, because he's gonna get massive amounts of money for this.
even after the fight, because he's gonna get all the promotions, sponsorships, and all that stuff.
Trilla is a new app. This is coming on the back of TikTok getting shut down in most of the countries, and they're trying to build it up. This is when you go on it, it's like TikTok, but it's not TikTok. So you kind of, if you're a TikTok user, you kind of think this is a B version of it, right? He's actually the front man for that now. So what they've done is Trilla have got exclusive rights to the fight, and on pay-per-view, I think Trilla are gonna work alongside whichever company, because they're gonna have the rights to the fight. So they're gonna put it on pay-per-view, but it's gonna be on the app for downloads as well. So for example, I think if you're gonna watch it on Trilla app, it'll probably cost you $10. If you watch it on pay-per-view and order it on whatever channel it's gonna be on, Sky or whatever, it's gonna be $20 because you're on a bigger screen, kind of thing. But whichever way, I don't know. But Trilla are paying Mike Tyson and Roy Jones handsomely for the simple fact that when TikTok went viral, they spent $1 billion to kind of launch it.
And if you haven't watched that video, check out that video. The link will be in the description.
Right, and you can see that. But the good thing here is, and you got to understand that Trilla, because Mike Tyson was offered 18 million to fight, I don't know, I forgot who it was, in a bare knuckle fight. Then other companies have been chucking money at him.
Yeah, I've lost it.
And so whoever wanted to, like Evander Holyfield, Evander Holyfield wanted a trilogy, and because he's obviously not financially set as Tyson is nowadays with his Tyson Ranch, but Tyson was getting lucrative offers. Chinatown is a merchandise company that paid him loads of money to make some videos and push, and he's actually gone into a partnership with them with some of the branding and stuff. But my point is, he's become a hot commodity, and the reason why he released that one video a few months ago.
Yeah, exactly. But that video got everyone excited. Like, wow, share.
He got millions of comments, there man, millions of views.
Yeah, and literally all the big celebrities were
backing my boy Tyson on fire.
Exactly, and yeah, I totally agree. I don't think they're nowhere near their best, right? But I think, like, Tyson looks good, right? But I don't think she could take a shot. He's got big legs and a big thick neck, yeah. But I don't think he could take a shot, and I think it's just it's just show, isn't it? But
Roy Jones fought in 2018.
Yeah, recently retired.
He fought in 2018, and he's not been the same force. His hand speed's declined, but his punch resistance looks crap.
Yeah.
Like, you just know that he's one shot away from getting knocked out.
You just blow on him.
Yeah. But I tell you one thing. I'm gonna tell you a little quick story about Roy Jones. And I met him in 2010 with a few brothers. Elvis.
You mean he met you?
Yeah, he met me. And back then I wasn't lying AR. I was just Ali Rashid.
You were a freak.
I was freaking them, baby. Yeah, I met him with some good brothers. Rabiul Islam, good brother of mine. Elvis Dubé. There was a few of us, and we're all handy lads. And we met him in Penang Hotel, which is closed down now. And he came down. He was doing like when they call you down, doing like a photo kind of stuff event. And then he was in his hotel room. So I spoke to security. I said, "Where is he?" And they said, for example, the 5th floor. This room. They shouldn't tell you, but when you've got people on a good level, they tell you stuff. So me and a couple of lads went up there, knocked on his door. Roy Jones was 41 at this time. He's opened the door. He's only there with his girlfriend, no security, and he had a gold chain around his neck. Remember, his buttons were half open from the top. He's probably just going to get a little bit comfortable. And we knocked on the door and he opened. He said, he goes, "Yes, man." And I says, "Yes, Roy. What you saying?" I go, "We just have to come up and give you kudos, man. You've been our favourite fighter for years, and it's good to finally kind of see you. Can we just speak to you for a minute?" Now, if it was anybody else, they would have closed that door and said, "No, mate, I'm a bit busy or whatever," a bit rude, because loads of celebrities are rude.
Yeah,
They're very arrogant and rude when you meet them in real life. But I've never been like a kind of guy who gets whitewashed with a crowd. I kind of still be myself around him.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's come out the room, and he's got 4 lads there, and every one of us are quite handy, I would say. And he come out and he stood there and he just took pictures with us, had a good laugh and joke talking about this. We was with him for about 7-8 minutes. We took pictures. Back then he never had phones. You had phones, but they were crap pictures. So we took some pictures, and I could still remember he had an aura about him. But that was because he was still handy, 41. And I know for a fact he could have probably spot all of us out. We would have probably landed a shot on him. The reflexes he carries, bang, bang, pop, pop, pop. We would have probably played with this, to be honest, unless we got him to the floor, took his knees out. But what I'm saying is, I rate him because he came across really humble when he didn't need to.
I've seen loads of videos and articles where they're just talking so highly of him, like how humble he is. And you'd think a fighter like him, who's achieved so much, a fighter like him, he'd be arrogant and rude, but he doesn't seem that type. I think Roy Jones is going to win. Simply because he recently retired, he's been more active. Tyson's been abusing his body for 10, 20 years, God knows how many years. And you can't, like, towards the end of Tyson's, like, career,
in 2004,
he didn't look nowhere near his best. Imagine coming back after 15, 16 years of abusing your body and fighting again. I don't think he will. He probably, if anything, if Tyson will win, he's only going to win of the way of knockout within the first round. If it goes past the first round, I don't think he's going to keep up.
Me personally, I think because the exhibition bout, it'll be a draw anyway. They'll be given a draw to keep it nice and competitive, like just make it look good and try and show a little bit of skill, just in case they get other offers from that. But it's going to be more about selling themselves and trying to keep it a little bit competitive.
For a second one.
Yeah, because Tyson's going to be, I'll tell you what Tyson's going to do, because I've seen a couple of his sparring little clips. You've been doing loads of slipping and hopscotching, you like trying to get in position, So he's going to do a lot of that, I can tell you that now, and he's going to look the part. Roy Jones is going to be,
jabbing.
Bam, jab. It's going to be the quick jab, and it's going to be one of them like, oh, you know, one of them like, he's going to be trying to make him look stupid, do all that. So it's going to be good, but it's not going to be a fight. I don't think it's going to be anything, but I think somewhere along the line, there might be a little spot, and that's what everyone's paying to watch. They want to see if Tyson nails him on floor. If Tyson nails him, he's knocking him out. If Roy hits Tyson, I don't think he'll knock him out on the first shot. It will still take accumulation of punches because Tyson, even when Kevin McBride done him, because he's really big and Tyson wasn't training and he thought it was an easy match, he wasn't with it, kind of, you can make all the excuses, but when he got stopped by Kevin McBride or even Danny Williams, he took accumulation of punches. Roy gets tapped with single shots and shots that would not really hurt him in his prime. So I think it's Tyson to win the fight if it goes, but I would like, honestly speaking, I'm a Tyson fan, I like Roy's humbleness, and for me that makes me root for Roy.
So you want Roy to win, but you think
Tyson's going to win.
Anyway, that's all from us today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and don't forget to subscribe.
And if you haven't subscribed, you better subscribe already, or Tyson's coming to get you. Peace.